Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Friday, Fri-Yay, November 4th, 2022. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Mark. Mark says, good morning, everyone. 1 week. That's right. 1 week until Free Training Day Northeast, our biggest event of the year. Expecting to see so many of you out there and so many other people who don't watch this show, but maybe we can get them to start watching this show. We are a family, and it's always great to come together for training and food and hugs and stories and all of the things that will be happening next weekend. It's going to be a great weekend. Good morning also, Jenny and Stacy and whoever else is out there, whether you're watching now or maybe later. It's warm. I've got my Kickheads pet dog shirt on. Not available at whistlekick.com at this time because it's not all the stuff isn't always available. If you want something, you got to get it. Like this first cup mug. Not first cup mug, Free Training Day mug. You got to grab it. Dennis says, it's the Friday before Free Training Day, which kind of sounds like before Christmas, doesn't it? And Kyosa Campo is bowdy bowdy and rowdy rowdy. Woo, woo. That kind of makes you sound like some weird small European country police car. Good morning, Shibashi and Brian. Jenny's testing tonight. Pre-test number 2 of my testing cycle. My final test is 1 month away. Good luck. I'm sure you'll crush it. Boot to the head. Do you all know that comedy sketch? Boot to the head. It's kind of funny. As martial artist, I think it's a little bit funnier, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what she's referencing. Today we've got jokes. I'll tell you why yesterday's episode of Martial Arts Radio took forever to post. I'll tell you what I'm doing today and this weekend. And I want to know what you guys did yesterday and what you will be doing this weekend. You can let me know in the chat. Oh, everybody seems to know boot to the head. Dennis says, oh, dang, I have a blood test coming up and I forgot to study. It's all right. Fortunately, there isn't type F blood. You could get an O. It's kind of burdensome. I've heard it's burdensome to be type O. What is it? O negative is the universal donor. Can you guess my blood type? A positive. A plus. Makes sense, doesn't it? Just I seem like the type of person that would have A plus blood. Oh, tea is tasting good this morning. Good morning, Gad. Well, so yesterday's episode of Martial Arts Radio, completely my fault that it didn't go up. Andrew and I recorded it. We had a great time, and I forgot that I had to move the file. And so here we are. I'm looking. It's like 10 o'clock, and I'm going, where is the episode? It's not here. And I'm doing some other work. I recorded. What did I do? I was moving files from Andrew and I recording on Wednesday, and realized, wait a second. There was no folder in this Dropbox folder that we all access. Oh, we did that on StreamYard. I bet I didn't move it. So I moved it, reached out to Julia, said, my bad. Here you go. And he got that up. It, as far as I know, it is up. So you can check that out if you did not check it out already, or if you did not check it out when it was live. Jenny says she gets A plus every time for my blood tests. She's an overachiever. Gad's going to his GP today, hoping to get a referral to get an MRI for his knee. Last week, the PT said it was most likely a full ACL tear. Oof. Well, I wish you luck. I fight for it. Fight to get that referral. Brutal. Yesterday, I had a number of meetings. One of them was actually 2 of them ended up being canceled. One no-showed. And I got a decent amount done. But coming in yesterday was a request from one of my infrequent computer clients. I still have a few. I don't take very much computer work because most people want more than I'm able to give. But this is a local retail space, and they're like, hey, computer's being funny. I said, okay, do these things. They did these things. Okay, computer works now, but it probably needs a tune-up. I said, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. So I'm going to go out and do that. This morning, I talked about this yesterday, even had one of you reach out to me. I believe that the future of my personal finances at this stage are based in consulting for martial arts schools. So my number one thing this morning, I took some notes yesterday for myself. I am putting this together. What does a stronger, more official, competitive martial arts consulting division of Whistlekick look like? And it will be out in draft by the time lunch is over. I'm going to reach out to a few of you, actually probably just one of you who's here, and get some feedback. There are other people I will get some feedback from, and I'm launching this at Free Training Day. We're going to have a bunch of school owners. I'm good at what I do. I know I'm good at what I do, and it's time to get some other people to see that and to benefit from that. See, that's the thing I love about consulting, is that if I do my job well, everybody wins. That's what doesn't happen when I do IT. I go out and they're happy that their computer's no longer broken, but it doesn't make anything better. I bring them back to neutral. When I do consulting work with people, their schools grow, they make more money, they're happier, their students are better off, whatever the goals are. And they're happy to pay for that. And I get to do something I enjoy, and I'm happy to get paid for it. Everybody wins. I no longer want to be involved in business ventures where somebody loses. I don't want to do it anymore. It's not fun. I have some clients that are non-martial arts schools that I enjoy working with, but not as much. And so I'll have to phase those out over time. But this is a future. This is my future. This tea is delicious. Mark, I'm so conflicted with your comment. Mark says, you're the best of the best, Jeremy. I'm a very happy client. Well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. I don't name my clients, but since Mark volunteered, I've really enjoyed working with Mark. Mark is an easy client to work with because he trusts me, because we're friends. And his expectations are not unreal. They're not unrealistic. And so we get to work together, and really cool stuff happens. And I'm not going to be more specific than that. That's his job to do that. But let me just say, if I had a bunch of schools that I worked with, and I had as much fun working with them as I do with Mark and a couple other people that some of you might know, it wouldn't be work. It would just be, oh, I get to talk to this friend today. I get to talk to this friend today. Paid to talk to my friends and help them with things that make them more money than they pay me. I can't imagine a better career. And he absolutely knew what he was doing with that comment, because so that's today. We'll hopefully, if I get my act in gear, one of my favorite coffee shops is a mile down the road from this place, from this retail space. It's called Artisans Gallery in Waitsfield, and it's a bunch of local folks who do some pretty cool stuff. I haven't had it on the show for a while, but I've purchased mugs from there and a variety of other things. It's a cool space. But the coffee shop's down the street. I have not had coffee. This is 7 days in a row without caffeine, and I don't need it. Now, granted, I've been going to bed much earlier than I normally do. Sometimes I'm in bed at 8. I'm tired. It's dark. I'm going to bed. Why not? But beyond that, this weekend, there's some prep for Free Training Day that I have to start doing, because the amount of stuff going into these VIP bundles is kind of ridiculous, and I have to start staging it. Otherwise, I'm going to be walking up and down stairs for days. I have more outside stuff to do. I might go to Costco. I might take myself to dinner. We'll see. I have no plans this weekend, and I'm quite good with that. Looking forward to that. Because next weekend is all plans. Gad says, because of my age, they're probably not going to do surgery unless I'm a competitive athlete, which I'm not, and I don't like martial arts as a sport. I will have to adjust my training, that's for sure. Brian says, I've been stopping at the other one in Waitsfield on Tuesdays on the way to training in Waterbury. 3 Mountain Cafe. That's the one I'm talking about. 3 Mountain Cafe is great. They have new ownership. I don't know the owners now. But the food's good and the spot's good and there's art on the wall. It's just a fun space. And it's been a fun space that I've enjoyed going to. I think I've told this story for a very long time. Because back in probably the mid to late 2000s, I was using it as an escape. I was working in Randolph, and sometimes I had stuff up in Montpelier. And for those of you who are not local, it's about a half hour north. And I would have other stuff within, range up here. But my cell phone didn't work out there. And so I would go and hide and get email done and do work and everything. Just kind of came to love the space and the people, and they make good coffee, and I don't know what I'm going to get today. Even a decaf anything is probably going to wire me up. I don't know. I'll find something. And I enjoyed being there. I've tried to recreate the same thing with Panera, but the local Panera, their dining room isn't open half the time. I give up. I unsubscribed from my drink of the day, sip of the month, whatever club, which was a great deal. Because I could go in, not feel guilty, be there for 45 minutes, get a cup of coffee that I didn't pay for, and do my work. It was brilliant. Okay. Jared says, I was recently diagnosed with, quote, old age, arthritis in my foot. And Shimon says, how old is your foot? I don't know if you all think that's hysterical, but I do. Remember, arthritis is inflammation. The biggest cause of inflammation for most of us is diet. Most arthritic conditions can be reduced or eliminated with proper diet. I don't know if that's the case here, but I'm going to throw that out there. For those of you who are not arthritic, being barefoot as much as you can is a good thing. There's a lot of little joints in the foot, and shoes inhibit most of them from moving. How do you keep joints healthy? If you've been reading 12 Months to Health, in fact, I'm not even going to answer it. There are 2 ways you keep joints healthy. It's in the book. I want to see who's going to get it. Post it in the chat. 2 ways. If you get it, I'll give you a $5 gift certificate to whistlekick.com. I'm not surprised. Jared, they gave me a diet regimen which eliminated all the stuff I like eating, which is a bummer. I get that. It doesn't have to be forever. If you can get that under control and you start to balance out what you eat with some anti-inflammatories. Yeah, and so here's Jenny coming in with the exception. My mom had rheumatoid arthritis for years, changed her diet, and the arthritis went away. So anecdotally, it is sound. RA doesn't always respond in the same way, but often, yes. And both Brian and Stacy saying that being barefoot hurts. It can. I love bare feet, but my ankles and flat feet don't. Yeah. It is, for most of us, the muscles in our feet have atrophied. And asking a bunch of very weak muscles to do a lot of work, like walking, without the assistance of shoes can hurt. But it's the only way you fix it. You either reduce the oomph, the amount of shoe that you wear, or you go barefoot. And you have to be patient with it. Shibashi says, good home remedy for inflammation. Juice of half a fresh lemon and 10 raisins in a glass. Let it sit overnight. Drink it down in the morning. This isn't a joke. It works very well. I'm unclear why the raisins sitting make a difference. I got nothing. I'm not sure why. I'm certainly not going to deny it, because the body is weird and we don't fully understand it, and plenty of things happen that we don't get yet. Remember that. We don't know how smell works. Anytime anybody gets really arrogant about something scientific with the body, well, this is how it works. We don't know how smell works. We don't know how smell works. The body's a mystery. Jared speculating that the raisins are antioxidants. Maybe, but 10 is such a small amount. I don't know. And Jenny says, as the Whistlekick book director, I cannot respond to your 2 ways challenge. And since nobody's, I'll give it like another 30 seconds. And then I'm going to answer it because I want you guys to hear this. We need like an open source Jeopardy version. And I could go burp, 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 burp. Okay, the 2 things that keep joints healthy are pressure and movement. Unlike muscles, where just being alive means waste product is brought in and out, joints are different. If you remain just kind of sitting there and you don't move your joints, they get stiff, don't they? And what do we instinctively do when we get up? We stretch things out. It's not the muscles we're stretching out. Hear that crack in my elbow, right? That's a release of pressure. This is very real. Now, think of what we do with our feet. We limit their movement and we reduce their pressure. There's a reason that we have joint issues that cascade up from the foot. It's foot, it's ankle, it's knee, it's hip, it's back. How often is it elbow and wrist? If it's elbow or wrist, it's sport specific. These are not just willy-nilly joint issues. Granted, our diet has an impact on it too, but the best thing you can do is take a look at your footwear. I love shoes. I just ordered a new pair of shoes yesterday. I'm spending more than double for this type of shoe that I wanted than I would if I didn't care where I got it from. But it's got to be low drop. In this case, I think it's 0 drop. Yeah, shoes. I used to have like 40 pairs of shoes. There was a time in my life where I had more pairs of shoes than every woman I dated. But I got rid of most of them because they were not good for my feet. I figured that out right after I bought a beautiful pair of Doc Martens. I'd always wanted Doc Martens. Got this gorgeous pair of shoes. And that's what finally helped me identify, oh, it's my shoes. Crap. I wore them 6 times. And I think 2 of those times were me testing to be really, really sure. Gad is speculating flavonoids like in wine. Who knows? Maybe. And Shibashi says, has something to do with the acidity and the sugars, I think. You know, I would love for somebody to investigate that and get back to me. Shibashi says, if you drink enough wine, nothing hurts. That's true. That is very true. All right. We got jokes, and we've been chatting for a while. Let's get to some jokes. I like when the conversation flows like this. All right. The jokes for Fun Day Friday. For this Friday, a rare treat. Only Frank Wood Originals, which I'm really excited about that. Did you hear about the candy race they had? They called it the Reese Cup. Did you hear about the candy CEO everyone was making fun of? They were all snickering at him. What did the factory worker say when he got in trouble at the Kit Kat factory? Come on, give me a break. Did you hear about the loudmouth cigarette CEO? The man has no filter. Did you hear about the new cheese shop in town? It's right around the block. Who's in charge of the furniture factory? The chairman. Did you hear about the scandal at Tropicana? It was pretty juicy. Did you hear about the malfunction at the gum factory? They were in a sticky situation. I tried to become closer to my uncle who works at a TV plant, but he's very remote. Those are good stuff. Good ones, Frank. And the fact that you made, where am I? I'm over here. And the fact that you did all those yourself. You made those all. Those are great. Even better. I love Frank's sense of humor. That's just how it is. I do. I'm drinking berry detox tea from Yogi. The brand is Yogi. And the tag says a thing. What does the thing say? You can measure the love you bring to each day by the joy you experience in each moment. And what was the other thing we got? Oh, it's a birthday today. Do you know whose birthday it is? It's kind of relevant, so we'll talk about it. He's got a book out. We've been trying to have him on the show. Ralph Macchio. Today in 1961. Okay. So, in 1983, when he was playing a high school kid, Ralph Macchio was 22. Just keep that in mind. On this day in 1961, actor Ralph Macchio was born. I think one of the reasons the Karate Kid film has stood the test of time, aside from get him a body bag, sweep the leg, catching flies with chopsticks, all of that stuff that's become pop culture, is that it worked on a human level. Yeah. Number 2. What's most exciting about the Cobra Kai series is that it pays homage to the legacy. It has the nostalgia sprinkled throughout, the callbacks to all the stuff the fans would want to see. It has a completely fresh, relevant angle into the next generation. I'll agree with that. I've been pretty open that I struggle with the show, especially as they got deeper into later seasons. I think it's wonderful what they're doing, but I watch that show from the perspective of someone who loves martial arts and people training. And early seasons, yep, it was inspirational. I could imagine people watching it and wanting to train. Later seasons, no. Could not imagine that. But I'm sure it's happening. So it's probably ultimately a net positive. Everybody's loving Frank jokes. Frank's jokes. We should just call them, should we call them jokes? I don't know. I feel like there's a nickname in there. And our last Ralph Macchio quote. To me, in life, if you have a sense of humor about it, that's how you deal with anything. I can get with that. I think you have to have a sense of humor. Oh, can I do this? What's this one? You wouldn't really be able to read that one. What about that one? That's really this. Yeah, that's still the one that I use. It can be hard to have a sense of humor about stuff, especially things that are important to you. There are times people have joked with me, and I've certainly reacted strongly, even though I know they were joking. And I try not to let that happen. And I think one of the biggest lessons I learned was when I did something similar. I was on the opposite side and I saw how much it hurt someone. There are times when joking is not appropriate. There are times when you err on the side of caution, say, you know what? Yes, this is funny. I think it's funny. Everybody else thinks it's funny, but it may not land correctly with the person that it is relevant of, and could end up being, in their mind, at their expense. So we got to be careful of that. Dennis says, Cobra Kai is at its best when it focuses on the dynamic of the relationship between Daniel and Johnny. I would agree, and so does Stacy. She says yes, for sure. I'm glad the show exists because it means a lot to a lot of people. And that's a good thing. It's also given, not us, but it's given some in the martial arts industry the opportunity to grab licensing and make some money off some products. I think that's great, because anything that brings money in to what we do from people who do not train is a good thing. And it is rule number 2 of Jeremy's 2 rules of economic growth. 1, stop the outflow of money. 2, get people outside of your economy to spend money within your economy. And that works whether we're talking about at a home level, a state level, a country level. When you violate those rules, bad things happen. So, which is why all of the long-term visions for martial arts competitions that I have involve making them exciting for people who don't train and don't know anybody training. They just would be fun to watch. Gasp. All right. I'm going to go. I'm going to take a little bit of time and just kind of let my head rest. And then I'm going to go to my desk and I'm going to attack this project. And I'm very excited. It was the first thing I thought of when I woke up. I'm excited to do this. That is not normal for me. I am not normally excited to tackle a new project. That tells me this is big. It's big. I'm excited. I look forward to sharing it with all of you. I look forward to the growth that it will mean for Whistlekick. It's all good. And so some of you, in fact, many of you, directly and indirectly have contributed to my willingness and confidence to do this. So thank you. Some of my skills as a consultant have come from being able to riff as I do here. The episode, well, let's see. I posted about an episode that leveraged that skill that will be coming out. I think it's next week on Patreon yesterday. Remember, Patreon, $2 a month. You can get it for $2 a month. So I'll stop chatting at you. I appreciate you. All of you. Every single one of you. Gad says, I was born in a culture, Dutch, where you can make jokes about just anything, and harsh ones too. When I moved to Taiwan, it was the complete opposite. I agree with you, Jeremy. Shabashi says, I hope everyone has a wonderful pain-free weekend. That is a good hope. And Stacy says, hence the board breaking at your first tournament. It was exciting for everyone. Exactly. You didn't have to know anything about breaking boards or martial arts to know, hey, that person smashed 8 boards and that person smashed 7 boards. That person did better. Easy to understand. Remember, we do the show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm watching it on Twitch. Stacy's watching it on Twitch. Dennis is watching it on Twitch. And if you want to support us, you got so many things you can do. Anything you can think of that would be helpful, please. I would encourage you and welcome you to be helpful in that way. But a couple that we keep talking about. Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. Buying something at whistlekick.com. There are new things going up all the time and old things coming down. So if there's something that you like, you got to grab it when you see it. And you can use the code FIRSTCUP15 to save 15%. And if you want the whole list, it's the family page. Go to the family page. Check out the behind the scenes stuff, the constantly changing things, the lists of things that we ask you to do. whistlekick.com/family. And Stacy's referencing what I said, Andrew and I recorded. That was the first time we'd ever done this and possibly the first time anybody's ever done this. That did sound like a fun episode. Do you want to know what she's talking about? It'll cost you $2. Go sign up for the Patreon, you goofballs. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I will see you back here on Monday. And I know there are a bunch of you who aren't going to be able to make it for Free Training Day Northeast, but keep in mind, we are doing a special episode of First Cup Saturday at 6:30 at the hotel breakfast area. So if you're around. All right. You take care, everybody. I will see you back here Monday. Peace.